for decades, one of the biggest challenges for renewables has been about how to store the energy for use when it's needed.
As we well know, in Ireland, the sun does not always shine when we want it to, but solar power can be part of our energy mix. We just need good storage and grid integration. And fortunately, in Ireland, we're actually quite good at it.
I'm meeting Cillian O'Connor from Solo Energy to find out about a new FlexiGrid solar energy storage system that's being installed in Ballyvolane Fire Station in Cork.
Battery storage is the solution to all our prayers when it comes to renewable energy.
Absolutely. I think it's widely accepted now that renewables are making their way onto the grid in a real way and slowly starting to replace fossil fuels as a significant source of generation on the grid. Traditionally, the problem with renewables was the intermittency of wind and sunshine, I guess. So we need things like storage to store that energy when the wind isn't blowing or the sun isn't shining to release it back into the homes and businesses. We've developed a software platform called FlexiGrid that controls and aggregates multiple battery storage systems across the grid. If you think of the electricity grid as a motorway, for example, during peak hours on the motorway, you could have 4 or 5 lanes of traffic backed up. Batteries can act as a relief road to ease some of that traffic congestion and help the grid operate more efficiently. Likewise, if there is a lot of renewable generation on a windy summer's night, for example, when there's hardly any demand on the grid.
It's bright till 10 o'clock, no lights are on.
Absolutely. What traditionally happens now is wind turbines will start shutting down, which is a complete waste of the energy that's there. But if you've got a smart network of batteries on the grid that can absorb all of that energy at that time for use the next morning, then that's the ideal scenario.
So it's like a master puppeteer of all the batteries, all the renewable energy sources and the grid, and says, you go there, you charge up, you turn off, and it's all managed
That's
in
exactly
the
it, all managed centrally in the cloud from Cork.
Wow, cool.
So this is the battery. It's a 10 kilowatt hour system, and that's storing the energy from the panels on the roof for the grid overnight.
So if this was fully charged, how long would 10 kilowatt hours last, or what would it power?
It would power a typical 4-bed home for a day. The loads in the fire station are obviously a lot larger than that. It wouldn't keep the fire station powered for a day, but it does contribute to a good bit of their demand.
They could make a good bit of tea.
A lot of tea, yeah, absolutely. Over here we've got the inverter and the control panel. Basically you can step through this here just to see what the panels are generating. Currently, how much is being stored in the battery, whether it's currently charging or discharging. This morning we were generating quite a lot. We were up to about 7 or 8 kilowatts. Clouds just came over there, so we're at about 1.6 kilowatts of generation from the panels.
That's something though.
Yeah.
So I can look forward to having something like this in my house in 10 years' time.
Yeah, absolutely. And not even 10 years, it's starting to happen now.
We've promoted a lot of projects to enhance energy efficiency here in Cork over the years, and within the brigade specifically, such as electric vehicles, PV arrays, solar arrays on some of our stations, and insulation measures, replacing light fittings with LED fittings, and now this is just another additional project.
Is it easy to use?
Very easy to use. It just sits there on the wall. We look at it every now and again, make sure there's a green light working on it. It was installed over a day and a half and commissioned. A very easy, quick, fast install, which is important in a brigade.
And you don't have to monitor it, someone else is monitoring?
No, it's monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Since we've put the PV panel array on the roof, we're after reducing something like 4.5 tons of CO2 in emissions to the atmosphere, and that's an annual figure. So we're very pleased with that.
So not only are you saving lives, but you're also saving the environment.
Absolutely, in an environmentally friendly manner.
We're moving away from a world where a handful of large generators like coal and gas plants are generating all of the electricity and distributing that out to the homes and businesses, to a world where you've got tens of thousands of renewable generators on the grid, wind turbines, solar panels. So we need to move to a grid where it's much smarter and you've got these clever platforms to manage it all.